G'day guys, it's Phantom, and today I'm going to be ranking all of the MCU movies and shows as I reviewed Werewolf by Night yesterday. So I'm going to review and rank all of them right here. It may be a long video, but yes. Firstly, we're going to be talking about each movie. So I'm going to start off with Iron Man. It is a great starter. The character itself is one of the best characters in history. Robert Downey Jr. is the best casting. I think that is the best cast. One of the best castings ever, and the villain is very cool. So, no other place than S tier. Number 2 wasn't as good. The performances were still good. The villain was terrible. The movie was boring. But it is still a pretty nice watch. I'm going to put it in the B tier. Number 3 was kind of just another movie. It has a lot of emotion, which I did appreciate. But the villains and it was just another bland movie, and I'll put that in C tier. Thor, I do like most than others. It's more serious than the other Thor movies. It is pretty entertaining. It's a bit of a short one, but it is still pretty entertaining. It goes into B tier. The Dark World was quite entertaining. It isn't that boring. The villain is not that good, but the relationship between Thor and his brother was great, and yes, it didn't really go anywhere, but it is still a pretty decent watch. C tier. Thor Ragnarok is one of my favorite MCU movies. It's Taika Waititi brings the comedy into it, and every joke lands. It's so funny, and it is one of my favorites. Thor Love and Thunder, I have already put on the tier list. I'm just going to put it on there real quick. Captain America First Avenger is a pretty cool World War II movie. The character Chris Evans embodies the character. He is fantastic. The villain Red Skull is very intimidating. He is very good. It's not an S tier movie, but it is still a really great watch to put in A tier. The Winter Soldier is one of the best spy movies ever made. The Russo brothers did their thing. They are literally the best thing that has happened in the MCU. So it is a great watch. Not an S tier movie, but it is an A tier. Civil War is perfect. The characters, their motives of why or why not that they should fall under the government's rules. Everybody has their reasoning, but I am Team Captain America all the way. It is a very effective. It is an S tier movie. All the characters come together. All the characters deliver. Not every character, but the addition of Spider-Man is absolutely perfect. Avengers is perfect. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. The first part, though, is a little bit slow, but otherwise it is fantastic. Age of Ultron is a bit of a letdown. Ultron is extremely intimidating. He's also surprisingly really funny, which I do not expect. But overall it is quite slow moving. The addition of Vision was pretty cool, and I really like his character. It is a B2 movie. Infinity War is one of the best movies ever. It pretty much brings every character together. They don't all interact with each other. They have like separate groups, but it is a really great watch. It isn't an S tier movie, but it is a really high A tier movie, almost S tier. Endgame is an S tier movie. There's no debating it. Being 3 hours, it does get a little bit slow, but every moment is worth it. The build up is great. The time travel aspect was very cool, very unique for this type of for this franchise. So, Guardians of the Galaxy is probably my favorite. The soundtrack is my favorite soundtrack of any film. Every character has their own backstories, and you root for them, all of them. But my favorite character is Rocket. He has the most emotion and the most real character. Guardians 2 isn't the best. The soundtrack is really good still. James Gunn always brings great soundtracks to his movies. The cinematography is some of the best. The villain wasn't as good as the rest, but it is still a really good movie, an A tier for me. Ant-Man is so funny. Paul Rudd is such a funny guy. He is a vampire that is literally ageless. He's like 50 or 52, and he is great. The villain though is alright, but Michael Pena's character is the funniest ever. He's probably the funniest character in any of and his way of telling stories is great. It's a bit movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp is kind of on the same. It doesn't really go anywhere. The villain is very cool though. The comedy is about the same, but it's all pretty much just in one location or in one part. But the post-credit scene is one of the best post-credit scenes ever. I would put this in the same. Spider-Man Homecoming is a great introduction of the Spider-Man character in the MCU. Obviously, he was in Civil War first, but in this movie he shines. The villain Vulture is great, and the whole trilogy of Spider-Man is basically an origin story. It's not really like an origin story, but it is like a build up to what is going to be in the future projects. Put this in the B tier. Far From Home, I do like most and others. They go to London. That location is great. Mysterio. You thought that he was going to be a good guy, but that twist was very good. It is a higher B tier movie. No Way Home, I did put in the S tier. On the other, I think so. But no, I think it's a bit too much. There's some character decisions that are really dumb, but the addition of the other two Spider-Mans was great. Doctor Strange was pretty alright. The visuals is some of the best. The villain was kind of dumb, but yeah. I put this on my thing already. Go watch my other tier list for that. Now this is where it starts to get downhill. Captain Marvel, the character itself is, well, the movie itself is fine, but the character is a bit uninteresting. Some parts of the movie feel really forced, like the music choices and some of the other stuff. My first watch, I did really like it, but as I watched it more, I lost interest, and it is very, very poor. Black Panther is great. I love this movie so much. The soundtrack is it's probably my second favorite soundtrack. Chadwick Boseman is perfect as the character. I can't wait for the second movie next month. But I love this movie. It's not an S-tier movie, but it is really great. Yeah, Incredible Hulk is terrible. I hate that movie so much. Falcon Winter Soldier. It is very dark. It's very gritty. I like where they're going. The political stuff though was very unnecessary. The villains were, I mean, they're alright. But the new Captain America was so annoying. I hated him. But I mean, that's how, well, the guy who played him, I did such a great performance because you hate him so much. He does a great job, but it is it is a good show. Loki is a great show. The score is very unique, very different to the others. The time aspect of the different timelines were great. The introduction of Kang, or He Who Remains, was pretty cool. Owen Wilson was fine, but the clock dude was so annoying. WandaVision was very surprising. The first 3 episodes were alright, but then from there, the movie was picked up so much. The finale was a little bit disappointing, but the post-credit scene was very good, and it led really well into Doctor Strange. It is another B-tier show. Black Widow. I kind of fell asleep through it. I like the character, but if the movie was made a bit earlier and a little bit better, it would have been a great movie. But the introduction of Elena though is great. I love that character, but it is pretty boring, and the CGI is terrible. The villain is very weak. D-tier movie. Shang-Chi has some of the best cinematography and best fighting, the best hand-to-hand combat in any MCU. The character is great. I need to watch this movie again to appreciate him more, but the villain is fantastic, and it's a great introduction for a really great character. As A tier. What If was kind of disappointing. I love anthology series, but some of the stories were pretty weak. There was a lot of lazy writing, but some of the stories were pretty cool. Like this, the zombies episode was my favorite, but otherwise it was pretty weak. Moon Knight, the absolute GOAT. I wanted to see more of him. In the first 2 episodes, we didn't really see that much, but it is extremely violent. The end fight scene was a little bit of a letdown, but I really love this movie series. I can't wait for Oscar Isaac to come back again for season 2, and I hope that he is in the next Avengers movies, because he is great. It is kind these two Eternals and Black Widow are kind of the same for me. Eternals is very different again, but the thing is that these kind of the opposite. Eternals is literally the most stunning, the most beautiful movie that I've seen in MCU. Cinematography is great. Chloe Zhao with all of her movies, the cinematography is great. But unfortunately, with all of her movies, the story is terrible. It has no story. It's just a whole bunch of characters just talking, with a few fight scenes. Being 2.5 hours, it is extremely slow, and the only redeeming thing is the visuals. The characters are uninteresting. There were some things that were added that were extremely unnecessary. It is a D tier. And it hurts me because I wanted it to be great. Miss Marvel, I have already reviewed it. It is an A tier show. I love the character. I thought it was going to be one of them cringy ass shows like Captain Marvel, but it was extremely surprising, and I loved it. Hawkeye as well. I absolutely love this show. Kate Bishop is one of my favorite characters, and the addition of Kingpin is great. And then we're going to Werewolf by Night, which I have given an A2, but yeah, I'm going to put it on the S tier because I was almost going to give it an A+, but there was some little things that kept me from it. But I believe that it is far better than most of these things. It is definitely the best material from Phase 4. It is great. She-Hulk, I have enjoyed so far. I will give a little review on that later. I'm not going to put it on the tier list yet, but I will leave it out there. That's fine there. I'll put this up here. I am probably going to leave this as it is. B, I will put this behind here, right here. I think that's good there. I like this more than No Way Home and Far From Home, Homecoming. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna put this here. And this here. I'm actually going to put Thor down there. Iron Man 2, I'm probably going to put here. And I think that's good there. A tier, I'm going to put Captain America down there. No, I'll put it here. I'll be nice. Black Panther, yeah, that's fine. I'll put this on the upper one. Put this here, and here. I'll put this here. Yep, that's good there. Now this one is very difficult. I'm going to put Iron Man down here. I'm going to put Endgame up here so far. I'm still deciding. No, it's not my favorite. Yeah, I think that's good there. So this is my ranking. I will review She-Hulk when next week, as last episode comes out tomorrow. But yes, this is my tier list. What were your thoughts? Is it valid? Is there anything that you would change? And yes. Anyways, have a good one.